Aloha, everyone. Welcome to Activate and Elevate with Sheila and Jan. Today is September 22nd. Holy cow, where did this year go? And I am going to kick it over to my close friend, Miss Jan Rand. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, everyone. It's so great to see everybody. Good morning. I'm ready to rock and roll.
I'm excited because Jan is going to do the bulk of this show today because she has had super success. And yes, welcome to our patching party. And Jan, how would you like to start this off?
First, I want to see if anybody on here actually watched the video of Marcy doing what I'm going to teach you from Washington. Hi, Joyce. Gail watched it. Judy Harris, Gail, I think Lynn watched it. Suzanne watched it. She just did such a perfect job. And again, I've said this a million times. Every time I see Marcy do what Marcy does, I'm blown away at how good she is. And I'm so grateful to have such an amazing model. So I'm going to go over all the steps of how to do a good patching party. And I'm going to give you a couple of ideas on, your financial situation. Like if you don't have a lot of money to patch a lot of people, I'm going to give you ideas on how to do that. Okay. So the first thing, example, Joyce, you're going to be my example for the day. So it was Joyce, Linda Hampton, and Kathy Coker who put on this event for us up in Washington. So whoever sets up the event and invites the speaker, or if it's you, then you do it yourself. But they get up and they introduce you. I learned this back in the Amway days about edifying. You always say something nice about the person that's speaking, give them credibility. So Joyce did a fabulous job of doing that for Marcy. And then you get up and you welcome everybody, thank them for coming. And then the first thing that you do is you let them know that today is going to be experiential and interactive, right? Not showing videos. How's Sheila?
I said, write that down.
Yeah, experiential and interactive. And it's all about telling stories. So the first thing that Marcy did was she got up, and so everybody gets, when they come in, the gifting envelope with the 4 cards in it. Okay. Now, if money's an issue, you're only going to give ones with patches in it to the brand new people. If you've got a room full of distributors, you don't need to patch them. So you're going to give everybody the envelope with the 4 cards. The order that the cards go in is the picture card first, the what to expect, the all product, and then the activate the order form. Okay, so it goes in that order. And then you're going to put in 1 X39 and 1 Eon. And you're only going to give those to the brand new person who's never been patched before. Okay, if you can afford it, like Marcy, she has everybody put the patches on, even though you've been in the business for a while. And I learned this from my friend Sue when I was in Arizona. So at the beginning, after I give everyone the envelope, or they get them when they come in, I ask who in the room has pain that they're dealing with. So whoever has pain, we give them a bottle of water. And I tell them, you'll understand why you're drinking the water in a little while. Okay, because water, when you have water in your body, it helps the patches work quicker, right? And we want it to be experiential. So I give people that have pain, I know who they are, give them a bottle of water. Okay, so then Marcy says, I'm going to try to be a little goofy like Marcy because she keeps it interesting. So she'll say, okay, everybody, let me see your envelope. I want you to pull out the first card with the pictures on it. Show me your pictures. So she's trying to keep right. And you can all that watched it, that I'm telling it straight.
You are right on.
So, okay, so the tools you need to do a patching party, you need to order, even if you just get the one poster board from Sally, I think it's like 18 by 24. She has different boards. I got this one, I got the athlete one, and I got just the generic one that tells you what the patches are doing. So you have them, like I'm working a show tomorrow, so all three will come in handy. If you are working with athletic people, the athletic one will be helpful, but this is probably the most important one. So Marcy says, okay, let me see your card. Okay, everybody see that picture of me down in the corner, right? That's me. And then she tells her story. So because Marcy's part of my story, I use it. So you can use her story, you can use your own story. So I basically tell people how I came to be here today. So my friend Marcy, and then I tell Marcy's story. Marcy was recovering from fast growing cells in her breast. She had to go through chemo and radiation. 6 months later, it came back. To say that she was devastated is an understatement. Even though she was fast growing cells free, she was not in a good place. She was depressed, she was broke, she was not a happy girl. And her friend, Dr. Rhonda Donahue, came to her house with a patch and said, you need to wear this. And Marcy looked at her and said, I'm not doing well and you're bringing me a frickin' Band-Aid, really? So Marcy, I tried to do this. It was a little hard for me, but Marcy tells the story of the patches through the eyes of Dr. Rhonda Donahue. I kind of got lost in that. So you just want to tell about, so Dr. Rhonda told me about the patches, and this is how the patches work. And then you're going to go in and you're going to explain everything you know about the X39. If you're brand new and you're not 100% sure, you can read the envelope, right? Um, I've learned about the patches because I'm a slow learner and I learn by repetition. That's why I'm on all the podcasting calls. I'm on the practitioner calls. I have to hear it at nauseum so I can start spitting out. Now people say, God, you're so well informed. And I'm like, oh, I do sound kind of smart, huh? So you tell everything there is about the X39. And I spend a lot of time educating there about what to expect. And I started off, I tell people, because you can tell them about the patches 100 times, it's non-transdermal, and you'll always get the people that come up to you and go, well, I'm on this medication, I have this disease, I have that disease, and they like didn't hear. So I kind of pound it in the beginning. And I say, a lot of you in here are probably on medication. A lot of you probably have different health issues. And I'm telling you that this patch does not interfere with any medication you're taking. So you don't have to come up to me afterwards and say, well, I'm taking this drug or that drug. This patch, there's nothing going into your body to interfere with anything. And it doesn't matter what illness you have, the patch works the same way on everybody. So I kind of pound that into them through the beginning. So you're telling them, and then let me see, hold on, I gotta read the I can't find it. My office is a mess. But anyways, there's a sheet that somebody gave me, and I think I talked about this on something that talks about why it's slower for some people to react to the patches. And some of the basic ones, if you're not drinking enough water, if you eat a lot of processed foods, you have over 60 grams of sugar in your body, um, you eat terrible, you don't get any exercise, you sit on your rear end. So all these things about your lifestyle contribute to whether the patches are going to work quicker or slower for you. So I read that to people. So it's all about the X39 in that first portion. And this is the part I'm always the most nervous doing that. Once I get past that, it's super easy. So after she goes through all the everything about X39, she goes, now everybody take out your card, follow along with me. So I'm showing the big board, right? I got the big 18 by 24, and then I just go through and I tell a quick little story about all the patches. So I've told Marcy's story. You see the dog, he had, I don't know if it was glaucoma or cataract. Does
I think
anybody
it's
know for sure
cataract.
what?
I
So
think
this
that's
dog had a cataract. He couldn't see out of the eye. They patched him. His sight came back. This girl had a curved back. She started patching and her back started to straighten up a bit. This person, and again, the reason I didn't post my trainings live on Facebook is because I know sometimes I tend to say things that aren't compliant. Like I might say the heal word by mistake, so I don't want to get in trouble, so I didn't post it. So anyway, so this person, the real name is spinal stenosis, but we can't say that. So this person had a pinched nerve. After patching, the nerve opened up, it started flowing again. The little boy with the finger, this lady had turkey neck. Who here wants turkey neck? Nobody, you'd be a little goofy. This
so you asked
person
that
had,
question, Jan?
Marcy does, anybody in here want turkey neck? And everybody goes, no. And as you go through the pictures, you'll usually hear a wow or oh my gosh. This lady has angry skin. She started patching, her skin calmed down. This one's my favorite. This woman, I don't know if you can see it. It looks
Mm-hmm.
like mother and daughter. I mean, unbelievable. And then the lady with the scar on her face, she had fast growing cells in her face. Her doctor did a terrible job on her, started patching and it healed. So you just tell a quick little story about each of the patches. I mean, each of the pictures. And then you say, okay, everybody pull out the what to expect card. Hey, let me see it, everybody. Hold it up when you have it. You want to make it light and fun and ask questions and try to involve people. So then you just read the what to expect card. You don't have to read every single word on it. You just tell them when you put that first patch on, you're resetting 3,000 to 4,000 genes to a younger, healthier state. People using stem cells activate patches with an experience an immediate effect through the elevation of antioxidant and a decrease of inflammation and an increase in energy and joy. Anyways, you just read the stuff that you like on the card, both sides. And now you go, all right, now that you all understand what the X39 does, everybody open your little envelope and pull out the patches. And there's two patches in there. It says on the back, you want to grab the one that says X39. And whoever's helping you at your event, you're going to say, okay, Joyce, can you help people that need help? You're going to peel off the back and then you're going to turn around and place it on the back of your neck. Okay, everybody got it? Anybody need help? Okay. Then after you've read the what to expect, you've put the first patch on, then you bring out, okay, everybody, bring out your all product flyer and you're going to talk about Eon first. Okay, so the next patch we're going to talk about is Eon. Has anybody in here had stem cell injections? Does anybody know the price or anything about stem cell injections? You're going to usually get one or two or three answers. And then you educate. I'm going to educate you a little bit on stem cell injections. First, you're not really sure. I mean, I've never had them, so I don't know, but you're not really 100% sure where the stem cells are coming from. There's somebody else's DNA, and that when they inject them into your knee or your shoulder or whatever, you're told it might not work. Well, it doesn't work a lot of the time because if you have inflammation, inflammation is the eater of stem cells. And I love the Pac-Man analogy. Anyone remember Pac-Man, the little yellow guy going around eating the dots? Picture the Pac-Man is inflammation and the little dots are your stem cells. So let's say they just shoot 2 million stem cells into your knee, but your knee is got tons of inflammation. That's going to wipe out probably most of the stem cells that they just put in. So you might end up with 500 stem cells, right? Which is why it probably didn't work. So with the Eon, this reduces inflammation and it reduces stress. Okay, so now everybody go back into your envelope, find the other patch. And then you take it out and you're going to put it right on the back of your neck, right next to the X39. So what I did is I watched that video of Marcy's 20 times. I took a bunch of notes and then I condensed my notes onto index cards. So if I lost track, I could quickly find where I needed to go next. So now they've done the Eon. Now you're going to call up a couple of people to give their testimonials. So hopefully you do that at the beginning, find out if there's somebody there with a good story. You want to guide them a little bit. They can't be up there for 15 minutes. You tell them, I want you to say, what was your issue before the patches? How did you find out about the patches? And what has it done for you since then? You don't need to go back to birth. Just, what the patches, what was your issues? So, you got about three minutes or so. So you do about 3 or 4 testimonials. If there's more people that want to share, certainly let them share. And this is something you get sometimes if people start to ramble on, you got to kind of step in and maybe cut them off and ask a specific question to kind of guide them. That's a skill that you'll learn. Okay, so now you've got the X39 on, you got the Eon on, you've done the testimonials. Now you're going to say, okay, who are the people that had pain? So they're all going to raise their hand and you're going to ask them to come up and you're going to ask them to write down what their pain level is on a scale of 1 to 10. If it's a 5 to 10, you're going to double patch them. If it's a 5 or less, you're going to just put 1 set on. So now you're going to, if you've got 4 or 5 people, you want to have whoever's helping you with the event, they're going to help you patch people. Now, you're not going to have enough time to do the clock method. So what you do is if somebody's lower back hurts, you put the brown patch right on the pain spot and you ask them if they can tell which way the pain is running. Does it run down? Does it run up? Does it go to the side? And again, if it's a 5 to 10, you're going to do 2 ice wave sets. So you put the brown patch on the pain, and then you put the other one 2 inches away, either up, down, or to the side. If there's a couple of spots of pain, you're just going to play around with the patches. You can also put an Eon on top of the brown ice wave, because we all know ice wave doesn't restore or regenerate anything. It just stops pain. It's not, quote, fixing anything. So if you put the Eon on top of the brown patch, that's going to help reduce the inflammation in the pain spot, and they're going to have better results. Because this is really the thing that sells people, because it never fails. At the end, you ask those people, okay, you were a 10, what's your pain level? And somebody always does this. Get up. Oh my God, I can move my arm. I can walk. The pain is gone. Always, there's always somebody, and that's all you need. But usually everybody will have a reduction in the pain. And that's why in the beginning, if they drink water, they're going to have more chance of feeling the effects of the ice wave. Okay, y'all with me? Any questions so far?
Jan, they're asking,
Yeah.
can you place it directly on top? So
Yeah.
like I would just put it right on top of this brown one, like
Yep.
this.
Mm-hmm.
So if this was a neon, I would just go like that.
Yep.
Okay.
It's called stacking.
Stacking.
And I just learned about that.
And I want to take just one real quick moment and show people about what you mean with the ice wave, because a lot of people don't really grasp it. Okay. When you're putting an ice wave on yourself or anybody else, the brown is right where the most pain is. Okay. And normally you start to the right or at 12 o'clock. And you'll just take off half of the backing and put it in place and let them wait for a minute or so. If they don't have any kind of a response in pain reduction in that minute, you're going to just travel down and move it a little more. Okay. Until you go, oh my gosh, there it is. Sorry for interrupting, Jan.
Oh, no, that's okay. And somebody asked, Yeah, you don't have to put the Eon on right on top of it. You can put it next to it. Marcy always says pop the spot with a lot. So if somebody's having a lot of pain, you might put the two sets of Ice Wave. You could put the X39 and the Eon in the general area as well. So that works really good. So just to back up a little, so the setup, I usually have like a table. I have the poster boards. I have all the sleeves laying out on the table. So when I tell them to get the all product card, I say, okay, now you really have to pay attention, because when I'm done explaining all the different patches, you can come up and pick one that you want to try. So now they're going to pay even more attention, because they're going to get something for free. Even though that, we know you're not going to feel something from one patch, but it makes people pay attention, and that's what we want, right? And I did this in Arizona. I had 6 new people on Saturday, and all 6 people signed up. I was like amazed.
And so let me ask you this. You are having all of these patches or specific ones off of it extra on your table?
No, I have all the patches lined up, and I line them up in the order that I'm going to talk about them. And
Okay.
then I have the Dream and the Shine, and I have the Aloe Vita skincare as well.
How about the
So
AccuLife for the
no, I explain AccuLife. AccuLife is exactly the same thing as Ice Wave. They just had to name it something different for animals. So Karen, did you want to say something?
gotta
You gotta
unmute.
unmute.
Yes, I'm sorry, I was driving. So I have a question on when we double patch for pain for the Ice Wave. Am I putting it like on top of the brown and on top of the white, or next to the brown, next to the white?
Are you talking about the Eon?
The two sets. No, the Ice Wave, I'm sorry.
No, you put, it depends where their pain is. A lot of times people will have lower back pain in like
Right.
a couple of different spots. So you put the brown patch right on the pain spots, and then the white, if they can tell which way the pain is flowing, the white
Right.
patch goes 2 inches below. At a patching party, you do not have
But
time to do the clock method.
right, but when I'm gonna apply 2 pairs of the,
Yes, 2
then
pairs.
do I do it right above where I've just done it, or on top of the actual patches, like stacking them?
Like
No,
she
you don't
asked if
stack,
you put
you don't,
like one here and here, and then another set here and here.
yeah,
Okay,
you can't screw it up. I mean,
okay,
you just kind of want to play
yeah,
around with it. But yeah, you don't
got it.
stack Ice Wave on Ice Wave. You can stack the
Okay,
Eon on top of the Ice Wave.
okay. And then I just wanted to comment to everybody. First of all, I went to your event, one of your events in Phoenix. It was fabulous. You did fabulous. And what I wanted to bring the attention to was I brought somebody who had just signed up. They were already in the patches. But in listening to your presentation and the other people and their testimonies and the things, she actually called me when she got home and placed a larger order.
Go, Jen.
Thanks, Karen. And Karen shared her testimonial, which was phenomenal. I mean, her story is just amazing. And then she has a picture. She was a really sick girl, and she shows the picture of when she was really sick and then her recovery. I'm telling you, those stories are what sell. So, when you do this card, you want to tell everyone, pay attention, because you get to pick a patch at the end of this, which again is brilliant on Marcy's part. So then I go through and I talk about each of the patches. So Eon is the first one, and then I do the X49. And again, if you're not real savvy, all you have to do is read the card. Again, what I did was I listened to Marcy, what she said about each patch, and I wrote down things that I wasn't 100% sure on. So between that and here, I had a pretty good coverage. So X49, it's great for, if you work out, it helps with stamina, recovery, it helps with bone, muscle, helps with the heart. It's also a stem cell activation patch, but more specific than the X39. It also protects from 5G radiation from your cell phones. And then I'd go to Alavita, and I ask whoever's helping me to go around with the day cream, and I say, anybody who wants to feel this or try it, just put out your hand, and Susie Q is going to come around, and she just gives a little pump. If you don't have makeup on, feel free to put it right onto your face. So again, it's experiential. People are trying things. It's a little chit chat. And then I explained the patch. It increases your collagen. It reduces oxidative stress. A lot of people don't know what oxidative stress is. And it's basically just free radical damage that attacks our bodies every day. The air we breathe, the water, the cell phones, the microwave, chemicals all around, all of that bombard our body. So that helps with that. And it lengthens telomeres, right? And I explain a little bit about David, how he studies the earth. His goal in life is to leave the planet better than when he found it. And if you have long, healthy telomeres, you live longer. When they get short and stubby, you die. And he learned this by studying like lobsters and things that live a really long time. So Alavita helps to lengthen. And also, if you took a picture of your energy field, it might be black or a dark color. And then if you put Alavita on, it turns turquoise, which is why the packaging is turquoise, because it turns your aura to that color.
Wow. I didn't know
right?
that. One of the things I want to just share, because you already mentioned it, but I want to tell a little more specific. The reason David studied lobsters is that lobsters live to be 150 years old. And as they age, they become more sexually active. And so he studied them, and that's part of his whole creation of what Jan's going to share in a minute with Shine. So there you have it.
Yeah.
Who wants to be a lobster?
Without turtleneck. And then the next one I go to is glutathione. Glutathione is our master antioxidant. It ups your glutathione up to 300%. It gets rid of all the yuck in your body, your fungus, your mold, bacteria, viruses. Some people can detox from it. And I explain, if you start using it, some different options. If you don't feel well after a couple of hours and you can't power through it, to take it off the next day. You never, ever, ever cut a patch in half. When I say half a patch, you take off half the back. So let's say you put a glutathione on at 9 o'clock in the morning, and by noon, you're nauseous, you're headache, you feel yucky, and you can't power through, take it off. Then the next day, take off half the back, put it on. So if you lasted 3 hours, maybe try to go 4 hours, then take it off. And then the next day, take the other half off and wear it for 5 hours and gradually titrate up to the 12 hours. And I would never, ever start somebody at the very beginning with glutathione. I only start people on X39, Eon, and maybe Ice Wave. So I talk about the glutathione, then carnosine. Carnosine is the lover of heart, brain, and all organs. And as Alavita lengthens your telomeres, carnosine strengthens them. So those two are really good for your telomeres. Okay, number 4. And then the energy patch. And then I tell the story, and you can maybe tell this up front, in the beginning, just wherever it fits in for you. And then the energy patch, and I tell the story. The energy patch is the first patch that David ever created. I tell the story that David was working on a bid for something for the U.S. Navy. They didn't pick him for that particular deal, but they did call him a while later because they remembered he was an inventor and asked if he could create something for the Navy SEALs to keep them awake for long missions that weren't drugs or anything like that. And he created the energy enhancer. And then he went to Stanford, to the athletic department, started using it with the athletes. I tell the story of the Olympics. That was the summer when the United States swept the swimming competition because they were all wearing the energy enhancer. It went into under investigation because they thought all the guys were doping. So after they investigated and tested and realized there's nothing going into the body except light, everything was dismissed. So I like to tell that story. And then SP6 is great for hormone, digestion, your pancreas. It controls sugar cravings, and it can assist in weight loss. Sometimes people ask, well, what's best for weight loss? And I always recommend X49 and SP6. Now, I was a leader for Weight Watchers for many years, and I'm telling you, there's no pill you can take, there's no patch you can put on your body where you can just put it on and lose weight. You have to eat better, eat less, move more. Like, it's as simple as I can put it. You have to change something in your life. The patches can assist, just like everything assists, but you have to make some changes. You can't put the patch on and go, oh, it's not helping. I haven't lost any weight, when you're drinking a liter of Coke a day and eating junk and all that kind of stuff. It assists in when you're making other changes. So that's all the patches. And then I go to the Shine and Dream. I joke around, Dream will put you to sleep. I'm obviously not going to spray you because I don't want you all to pass out on me. People usually laugh. And then Shine increases your energy, and it helps increase testosterone. None of these patches will ever bring you out of balance. A lot of people are afraid sometimes that something could raise their blood pressure or do too much. All our patches just bring you into homeostasis. It will never be too much or not enough. It just balances you out. So the Shine, anybody who wants to sample, just stick out your hand and I'll come around, to whoever's going to come around and give you a little spray. And then last but not least, so now they've interacted, they've tried the patches. I ask the people with the pain patch, how's your pain level now? And that's when everyone gets up. And then the very last thing I do is I take out the price sheet. If I can find it.
And I like that, Jan. I like that you call this a price sheet instead of an order form. People have an aversion. So saying price sheet or price list. Thank you. Sorry.
Pricing list. Yeah. So, and then I just go over, the retail, it's $149.95. That's for 1 month. If you're only trying it for 1 month, I say this, I get in trouble sometimes because I'm a little too honest, but I can't help it. If you're only going to try it for a month, I really don't waste your money because it's not enough time. Then I talk about you can be a preferred customer. It's $119.95. You go on auto ship, and that's that. And then I talk about the packages and the benefits of each package. And I always emphasize, I usually recommend the silver pack for $299. I recommend one X39 and 4 Eon and an X39 the following month to keep your stem cells activated. And that's for you that are trying to build the business, right? Because if you keep signing people up on silver packs and nobody's on auto ship, you've created a job for yourself because you're constantly trying to sell silver packs to keep you at whatever rank you are. So the name of the game is to get people to do auto ship. Obviously, you don't force people. If somebody says, well, I would just like to do 3 X39s, great. You know what? Would you like to do an Eon the following month to turbocharge your X39? It's just suggestions, options. I love the word. I'm just giving you some options. And if they didn't know, I just want the 3 X39, great. That's what you do. But we lead. People like to be led, and people like options. And when people say, I really have no intention of building a business, totally get it. That's exactly how I felt. The feel, felt, found method, even when you don't realize you're doing that. But what happened is it happened so organically that next thing you know, you're sharing with somebody. And I always tell the story of my neighbor. I saw her with a boot on her foot. I'm like, oh my God, what happened? Oh, I broke my foot. It's taking forever to heal. I'm like, have you heard the latest in stem cell activation technology? No. wait here. I ran it home. I was across the street, got her some information, brought it back, brought her some patches. She bought a silver pack, and 2 weeks later, her foot was out of the boot. So it's like, you're just planting seeds, giving people options, and then, get back with the person who invited you here. If anybody has any questions, then I open it up for questions. And by doing it that way, I hardly ever get anybody coming up to me saying, well, I'm on this medication, will it interfere? Because I've addressed it probably 4 times throughout my presentation. So that's my patching party.
So
Anybody have questions or?
we are gonna roll over to the biz site where you can get all this stuff, but we wanted to roll you through a patching party first. Yep, everybody's loving you, Jan. Oh, Suzanne has a question. You need to unmute, please.
You're muted, Suzanne.
Okay, hello. Okay.
Hi.
Hi. Oh, all sounds so great. Now, my question is, what do you do if you don't have a distributor with you? Suggestions? And then I have another question.
You do it yourself. Again, depends if you've only got 3 or 4 people there, it's easy to do. You have to, obviously change things according to how many people. But yeah, if you just have a handful of people, you do it yourself. That way you're really interactive. You go around, oh, let me give you a spray, or whatever. So you just figure sometimes you gotta rely on common sense.
Right, critical thinking and common sense. And just
how
before
I
the question comes up, I want to head it off. If you do not have a sleeve of every patch, then you're just going to talk about them with the card. Okay. You're not going to give them a patch. You'll just say, and these are the other support patches that we carry, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. Because I know that not everyone can afford to have all of the patches.
Right. So what you do is when you hold up the card, you say, now I'm going to, educate you on all the different patches, and then we can have a conversation after, so I know what's going on with you, and then I can help make suggestions for you, if you choose to get started.
Exactly.
So
Jenny has a question.
Is it too much to go through all the patches when they say, don't overwhelm people, just be real simple? Or do you suggest going through all the patches?
Again, if it's like the patching parties that we did, the one we did up in Washington, we had about 40 people in the room. And Marcy's so great at being so animated and captivating. And it worked for a room of, I had 28 people one day and 15 people one day, and it worked great. You have to, read the room. If you've got 3 or 4 people, it doesn't take long to talk about all the patches. All you have to do is just read. This is so small, I can't even see it.
I had to put my glasses on.
The X49 is the sister to the X39, AHKCU peptides. I mean, all you have to do is like read the first sentence. It's not hard. It doesn't take a lot. And no, you don't have to educate them on all the different patches if you don't want to. As long as you educate them on X39, Eon, and what to expect. I mean, for me, that is the most important, is setting expectations, telling people. And I love the word hyper-focused. I always use the example, somebody will start using the patch because their knee hurts. And they're so hyper-focused on their knee that when you call them 3 weeks later to see how they're doing, oh, these patches don't work, my knee still hurts. That's why it's important to do the health tracker, so you can, because you did it with them, you can go, oh, how's your sleeping? Oh, yeah, I've been sleeping good, because they forget the subtle little things. And sometimes, has anybody ever had like a headache for days, and it's like, oh, and then one day you wake up and you don't have the headache, and you don't even realize you don't have the headache. Like later in the day, you're like, oh God, I don't have a headache today. So sometimes when you feel good, you don't realize it. So it's those subtle little things, but you really got to educate them on what to expect.
So here's the alternate to what Jan is talking about, of actually going deeply into it. Okay, now take this card out. This is the 3 generation of LifeWave technology. All of the products are on this list. And when you get home tonight, take this card out and read it. Okay. Then you don't have to go over it with them if you don't have that compulsion to do that. Okay, first question was iPhone 2, and then Gail, and then we're gonna bring up the biz site. iPhone 2, you have your hand raised. Would you like to unmute and ask your question, please?
Is that me?
Yes, it is, doll.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to add that I haven't done patching parties, but I've done quite a few events. And I started out with all of the patches, the envelopes for everything, and just a lot of like each sheet laminated and on my table, but I simplified. All I put on my table now is the Eon or the X39, the Eon, the Ice Wave, and the Energy Enhancer, in case I wanted to tell about how the company started. And I patched people with the X39 and the Eon, and I have the Ice Wave there if they need it. And that just seems to cut down on a lot of stuff, simplifies it and makes
Perfect.
it easier. And so I, give everybody a copy of each sheet that I've printed, and they take that and I get their name and number and just follow up about 3 days later. And that just makes it easier than having too much and going over, all
Well,
of the.
again, there's different situations that require different presentations. When you're
Right.
talking to a big room and half of them are distributors that are there to learn,
Mm-hmm.
the way that Marcy does it. But yeah, if I'm doing
Yeah.
1 or 2 people, it's going to be a totally different thing. And working a show, I'm certainly not going to have all my patches out at a
Mm-hmm.
show. I'm working a show this weekend, 2 days. So
Mhm.
yeah, you gotta fine tune things to
Mhm. Right.
different
Just need to-
situations. But what I did today was more for bigger groups,
Mhm.
a true patching party when you have, quite a good amount of people there.
Mhm. That's
Yeah.
great. Yeah,
But
good
thanks, that's a great
information.
suggestion, and I'm sure that will help a lot of
Thank you
people. And
very
that's what we're here for, to share ideas and
Mhm.
help everybody.
Yes.
I might patch 30 people that day, which is great.
Mhm.
But I just keep the material like simplified. I did
Perfect.
that after I listened to, I don't know what his name is, a guy in Texas that's really one of the top money earners there. And he said all he ever talks about is the X39. And I
Mm.
thought, well, that makes
Perfect.
sense.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So.
Okay, Gail, you had a question for us, hon.
I do, but first I want to say keep it simple. Kiss. And that's what really helps. But like I understand the patching parties, and they're there for that, to get more information. But when you're doing an event, like I have one tomorrow morning, and I was just curious, do you patch people at your events? Do you give them all
All
an
right.
envelope, or do you
Um,
wait for them to be more interested?
I'm going to give you 2 different answers. Okay. I'm going to give you the how Marcy does it, and then I'm going to give you how somebody who doesn't make as much money as Marcy does it. So when Marcy has an event, guess who gets the phone call? Jan, I need 150 stuffed envelopes. So I make the envelope with the 4 cards, and she puts her labels, and she has the board on her table, and basically that board brings people over and they start talking about the pictures. And then you create that conversation. Oh, so what's physically going on with you? What do you do for work? So it's that conversation. So Marcy will patch people at events. She'll do an X39 and Eon. If they're in pain, she'll ice wave. I'm working this event tomorrow. There's supposed to be 20,000 people coming through. I'm not patching everybody, and I'm not going to give everybody an envelope with my materials because most of it will go in the trash. I will patch the people that I feel that have spent time with me, that have the conversation. I know what's physically going on with them. I need to get their name and phone number. On the back of that sheet, I write down a couple of things that was going on with them. And then if I feel that it's appropriate, I will patch them with an X39 and an Eon, If they have pain, I will do an ice wave. I'm actually working the show with somebody that's not in my direct business, and she has a totally different idea how she wants to do it. So it's going to be interesting, to say the least. So that they have to show me some real interest, give me their name and number for me to even give them some information, and then I will be happy to patch them. But if you just come up to the booth and go, "Oh, what's this? Oh, let me stick a patch on you," that's just throwing your money out the window.
Yep.
What do you
Okay.
say about that, Sheila?
I concur 100%. That's why if you come into the office, or the training for the office, you always hear us talking about pre-qualifying, piquing interest in pre-qualifying. And that is exactly what Marcy is doing, what Jan is doing by having that giant board over there. They are piquing people's interest to come over. What's this? Oh, cool. Okay, great. All right. And then they walk away. Well, I certainly wouldn't be shoving a patch down their face. Okay. And the only time I patch people, I do the swap meet every Saturday for my other business, and I have a table sitting there and LifeWave banners and signs and things. And the only time I'll patch people again with Jan, one, they have to give me their phone number. If you don't give me a phone number, you're out. And then they have to show me that there's some real need in the moment when I'm at the swap meet, and then I will pull out my patches and patch them. And if they just have an interest and they want some information, then I send them to startx39now.com, and we link up after that. I'll text, etc., do those process. Okay. And then go on, Jen.
No, I was just going to say, and I know people sometimes have a problem asking people for phone numbers. So what I do is, like, I'll say, give me your number. I'm going to text you this link, and you can look at it later today, and it will give you all the information that you could possibly need. So now I've got their phone number, and I'll know if it's a phony phone number. So.
Right.
Exactly. That's
You
what I
know
was gonna
what?
say.
They certainly give us false information at these events. Dan and I know that, and we've experienced it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to go over to Suzanne. You can ask a question, and then we're going to be screen sharing where this stuff is all located for you.
Okay, Jan, the reason why when you're doing a patching party, you're giving all that information out is you're giving the people that have pain time to experience pain relief. Otherwise, you don't have that length of time, right? Does that make sense?
No, I would, yeah, well, I do that at a patching party, and I have it, again, everything I do because Marcy taught me. So doing it at the beginning of when I'm talking about the patches gives them enough time to get relief. And that at the end of the meeting, those people are getting up and going, "Wow, I couldn't even lift my arm like this. Now I can do this." That's the stuff that gets people.
Okay, so
And at the show, I'm going to have ice wave, and if there's somebody with some pain, I'm going to patch them. And then as they're walking around and all of a sudden they're not in pain, you know where they're going to come? They're going to come back to me.
okay,
Right.
that's why I thought you're putting all that information out there. There's a reason behind that. That's smart.
I'm there to educate. People came because they wanted to learn about the technology. I am teaching them about the technology.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Okay, Jan. So I think we're going to go share screen and show
Okay.
people where we can find this information. Okay. All right. So here we are. Let me get to the right page and move this over. Here we are on startx39biz.com. All right. It is a totally updated, revamped site. Next week, Jan and I are going to stroll through all of this so everybody is aware of what it's at. But for right now, to get to a patching party, you're going to scroll down to it's tools. That's it. Evolve tools. Write this down, and then you'll see the patching party link. You click your patching party link. So here is what we got going on. People have been asking through this whole call, where is Marcy's video? Here it is,
I'll
how to
put-
do a
oh.
patching party.
Okay.
Right? That's the video. Here's an education seminar editable invite. Here's a patching party. So the difference between an education seminar, that's where you're going to have like 60 people. Okay. A patching party can be a small little thing. And these different invitations have been created. Some people want to have a coffee and conversation party. For those that can drink alcohol, Prosecco and patches invitation. Let's go here. The patching party setup checklist. Did you use this when you first started, Jan, or you already knew this because of watching the video?
I knew it because I travel with Marcy and I schlep all her stuff.
There we have the answer. Okay. So for a patching party setup, the first thing you're going to do is order your supplies. And this right here is on the assumption that it's 30 or fewer people. Okay. So X39. Let's see, I'm going to have to make this small. There we go. 1 ice wave, 1 Eon, and 30 filled sharing envelopes with the mini info cards. Tell your story. So Jan, you told your story in the beginning once you passed out the cards, or did you do it before the envelope pass out?
They got the envelopes as they checked in.
Okay.
And then yeah, and then I said, you all got this. This is, you know, a experiential and interactive. And then I tell my story, which is a combination of Marcy's and mine.
Okay, perfect. So then we're going to read the sharing envelope with the what to expect mini info card. Again, this is our sharing envelope. Patch the X39 and the Eon below the back of the neck. So Jan explained at what point you take them out. Use the back side of the before and after tracker mini info card. That's the pictures. Okay, so the pictures, the back side of the picture card is the health tracker. Bringing up the testimonials and have them share. Come up front if you have pain and patch the pain. Read the all products. So this has morphed a little bit from what originally it was when Marcy made this document and where Jan and Marcy are at now with it. Okay, so that's the setup. And there you go. Can I click it? Nope. So you can see here, this is the big board Jan is talking about. So the pictures are not minuscule. You're at an event. I'm going to get this board. I just decided just during this call, so I can have it at the swap meet. So I don't got to pull these tiny little pictures out. And I'll just hang that on my wall. Okay. Buy the business bag here. Jan, you want to explain this sweet little gift thing? Well, it's not a gift. Business to, oh, she's up and grabbing it now.
So the business bag started 4 years ago. And if you had told me 4 years ago, I would still be doing this, I would have thought you were crazy. And now I have 3 neighbors that are helping me because I can't keep up with the demand. It's insanity. So in the business bag, you get the black canvas bag and you get, hold on, let me admit, you get 10 gifting envelopes, you get 10 of each of the 4 cards, and you get 10 of the little baggies if you need them. If you decide to gift patches to somebody, I always like to put them in the baggie because they don't get lost in the envelope. So that is the gifting bag. Marcy, I made Marcy, I'm going to be the bad guy. I made Marcy raise the price from $8 to $12 because I want Marcy to stop paying for everything. So I'm just being totally honest. So that is almost covering her cost. So,
and Jan, on this
that's
PDF,
that.
if I can correct it for a moment, we are not calling or texting Jan to order these. You have to request it by email. Okay.
And I need your name, your address, and your phone number, and whether you want 1 or 2. No, you cannot order 10. And 10, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because I live in a 2-bedroom house. I don't have the funds to stock all the materials I would need to be sending everybody 10 bags and all the cards, and it would be insanity. So what I like to tell people, when you have a team that's starting to grow, you can order small amounts of supplies from Sally. Oh my God.
And we're going to be going there in just a minute.
Yeah, you can order all your supplies from Sally and start making your own. And if you're really crafty, you know, you can like design the bags, make them pretty. I send out thousands and thousands. I'm not creative anyway, so I couldn't do it. But if you're good with stuff like that, make it cute. You know, you can personalize them.
You know what? You can go
So,
to Walmart or Target, and right now they are dumping the school stuff because school already started, and so they're lowering prices. And you can get like a pencil bag even for $2. Okay, you can be creative with how you use these, you know, make these bags. So this link here is the ordering information. This is for Sally Fung. And it looks like 15 pages. So there are a lot of marketing tools. There's Sally's information right on the front. And here, the first option you can order are your business cards. You can have a picture on it. You can have a QR. You can have both. They come in Spanish or English. Then we have the original business cards that we created 4 years ago. These are a hot mess. At least from my opinion, I just threw away 200 a couple of months ago and got my other cards. Okay, here are the sharing envelopes, English or Spanish. Now, if you look at this and you say, oh my God, $55 for 50. Well, hey, if you're building a business and you have a team, so get 50 or 100 and split your cost, okay? And share the cost with your team. And that is what Jan's talking about, making your own bags. Crack and peel stickers. So these actually have the little blue line, and then you tell Sally what you want on there and she'll make those for you. Personally, I print them off myself. It's a little bit cheaper for me to do it that way.
and oh, I forgot. So if you order a business bag, I also do make you a sheet of labels, that which is why I need your phone number. It says, for more information, call your name, your phone number, watch startx39now.com. If you want your website on there, you can tell me what you want on the label and I can make that. I don't put my website on the label because I don't like to encourage people to go there. I don't want them ordering themselves. I like to be in control and make sure it gets done right. Also, somebody asked, I know there's a lot of stuff going on with compliance, and I know David alluded to the fact that we might not be able to use the word stem cell, whatever, and we're going to learn all about that at convention. And yes, anything that Marcy has that's not in compliance, I'm 100% sure she will redo whatever she has to do to stay compliant. So that's
right.
not to worry.
That's right. Right. So don't worry. You know, we're all in this holding pattern and limbo of the compliance thing. And if you are not going to be at convention in 3 weeks, that's okay. The information will be filtered out from all of us that are there and let you know. So here you can order the cards. And again, I'm suggesting, especially because we order the 4 of them, that you go in together with your team and make it a little more financially easy if you are having challenges. Product index product index card. Jan, do you utilize these? I don't use these ones.
I used to. I had a team that was doing something really specific. So what they are is I would have to send out like 4 or 5 different samples to somebody. So I would staple like the whatever patches to the specific card. So this was like for the X39. Okay. So even today, if somebody needs a patch, I like them to have the directions. So I'll attach one of these cards. So but you don't need these.
Okay.
It's just because of the amount of different kinds of shipping I do for so many different people. I do doctor packs and like all kinds of stuff.
Different things. We are a little bit over time right now. I understand if people have to scoot
Yeah,
out.
I gotta go pick up my grandkids.
Okay, so Dan's gonna run. I'm gonna keep scrolling here. We're gonna finish this. So these, like I said, this is Sally
Yeah.
Fung's marketing tools. Okay, these are big banners. Even we have all kinds of stuff. Okay, that's the one me and Kathleen made. All right, so there you go. Trifolds, magnets for your car. Vinyl banners. Everything.
Sheila, can I ask you a question real quick?
Sure.
If this might happen where we're not going to be able to say we're not going to be able to say stem cell activation patch,
I
We
have
don't
no-
know yet.
and
I-
so so should we wait to order things if we're growing?
You know what? That's strictly up to you. I cannot make that business decision for you.
Okay, I'm just gonna give how I think about it. And again, when you're talking to individuals, you're not gonna have the compliance police like with a drone over your head listening to every word that you say. Where you really have to be careful is like if you're posting things on Facebook or social media where other people can come in and look. But if I'm doing a patching party, I don't have the compliance police in the house. I try as hard as I can, but if I slip up and say the word heal instead of restore, I'm not going to freak out about it. But I'm obviously going to try to stay as compliant as I can. But when you give a stem cell activation patch card to somebody, I'm not stressing about it too much. Anyways, with that, I gotta go. I love you all. I'll see you next week.
We love you, Jan. Thank you for this great
Bye.
presentation. So these are different items that Marcy and Jan use at their events. You've got the easel. Again, you can order through Amazon. You can get it locally if you need to. So that is our sharing. Let me scroll through these. People do party ask for the yeah. What's outstanding? Question: do you have a sign-in sheet for phone number and name? Yes. If you're doing a party that is, I say yes. Always have a sign-in sheet. Okay. Oh, and Jan answered it. Price is so worth it. Great info so that we may not be able to say or write the word stem cells in their dust. Yep, they'll be changed. Non-business builders send me their pamphlets. They get what they order. I give those out with color. Very good. 4 cards in the envelope. Do they need to be in a certain order? Well, based on what Jan was telling us, her order is the picture card with the health tracker first. What to expect comes out next. The product, the all product flyer is right after that. And then the price list. Okay, instead of product cards, can we just buy information pamphlets like the ones? Certainly, it's your business and you can choose to run it however you feel it works and benefits you. Over and over the problem is saying stem cell patches. That is correct. The problem is that people just say this stem cell patch. And I'm going to just say it right now. Okay, you're a liar. If you call this a stem cell patch, you are a liar. Okay? Put that in your memory banks because it's not. It is not a stem cell patch. There are no stem cells in this patch. This patch activates the copper peptide that activates the production of your own stem cells. Okay? All right. Love you, Victoria. Speak, Sheila. Yes. All right, Suzanne, you have a question.
Okay, I have a customer that, I mean, I'm dealing with him on social media in a chat, and he's going deep with me. Okay, I'm gonna recommend to him that he get the book from Sally Flung about patching. You know, do you know what book I'm talking about? Or
I
do
do.
you?
Why are you doing that?
Okay, he is, how do I want to say? He's doing a deep dive with me on everything. Okay. And I'm just thinking in advance of the conversation that will either happen today or some other time. I would like him to have the information as to how to patch. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so my own personal opinion about that is I would never do that.
Okay, why?
This is that book. Okay, does this person have patches right now, Suzanne?
No, but I mean, he is just over the
Look
top.
at this book. Okay, have you seen it?
Oh, I own it.
Okay, this is a dump. When you dump that much information on top of somebody that is not even using the patches, it's like a 80% chance that they will not use
Okay.
them.
All right, maybe further down the road, I can recommend he buy it from Sell.
The place, if he is having, if he's the personality, because there are certain personality types that by their brain makeup and nature, they have to do research and want more and more information. Send them to startx39now.com.
He's already done all of it.
And he's read every single bit of the research and
he
he's
came-
watched the
He
patents.
came back to me, Sheila, and he said, there's not enough information here. That's the first time I've heard that from anybody.
Well, then I would say, what is it going to take you
He wants to buy.
decide
He wants to buy, Sheila. He just got interrupted with a business phone call. That's all. He's ready to buy.
then sign him up and let
But
him
what
start
I'm-
experiencing.
What I'm saying, based upon the information he's coming back to me with, and mind you, most of this is in a private chat in social media. This guy wants information over the top.
Then that at that point is, I'm literally saying to you, Suzanne, this is what I personally would say, because I have no more time for people that are wasting my time. Okay, this is truth for me.
I got you.
Right? Is that, sir, what is it going to take for you and I to get this signed up so you can start improving your healthy lifestyle, your vitality, your energy? And he's going to tell you what that baseline is. And you can say, okay, well, I have given you the research and the patents and testimonials. And beyond that, you have a time now to choose to sign up. And
He's
as
going
you
to.
use these, you will be finding more information over the actual time of usage. Okay. I'm just saying, honey, that there comes that point where, pardon my mouth, but it's shit or get off the pot. You're either
Yeah, he's gonna buy. He just got in.
okay, so then just tell him, this is the information I have.
Okay.
Okay.
What
Where are
I'm
you gonna
saying
find
is
more?
after he gets the patches, Sheila. Okay.
After he gets them, I'm still saying this is too early. He
Okay.
needs to be on the patches for a minimum of 3 months.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Sorry, I'm harsh. I'm not
No,
trying
but no, hey, no
I just-
problem. I get it. I
want
get
our
it. I've
team,
been where you are. Okay.
you know,
I
we
give them an encyclopedia of information and then they say, oh, no, I'm not gonna buy it. It's like, okay, that's
That's
all I
right.
want to know. Buy.
and,
Period.
and some people don't even, they just look at you and they say, oh my God, put it on me now. I want to buy it now.
Yeah,
Okay.
I got it.
And that's that personality difference between people. So it's really, we have to read our people. And I was just going to say it, and Robin put it up there, get him on the InTouch app. It's free. And there are hundreds of LifeWave. There's their own presented in videos. There's David Schmidt. There's different things that he hasn't seen off of StartX39 now that he can chew up and get more information from. Okay. So that's what I would do. I would have him go in to his app store, download the InTouch app, and start walking him through that. On my YouTube site, there is actually, it's an old one because we did it a long time ago, but there is a video of us going through the InTouch app. Okay. On the InTouch app itself, there's videos of how to use the app. So I think that that would be a smarter place to start him off rather than the big book. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. That book was actually in that list of marketing materials that we just saw with the business cards and banners and stuff. It's down at the very bottom, and you order that from Sally Fang. Okay, let's see. And thank you so much, Robin, for mentioning that about the patch, because that's totally it. And you guys, we are getting ready. Miss Wendy will be in here shortly to do the patching podcast for today. So I just want to say thanks for everybody joining us. Are there any more quick questions that we haven't covered? If not, I'm looking forward to seeing all of you next week. And we are going to go over the entire startx39biz.com, or at least as much time as we can, because it's updated, it's easier to navigate, and it's built so that you guys and me and everybody else can make our easily duplicatable business and build it. Okay. So love you guys. Thanks for joining us.
Sheila, you're the best. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.